January, that should, I certainly hope I've got the right set of slides here.
No, you
I do not. We will pause the meeting and I'll go get the right set of slides. Wait a minute, they might be on here. Let me double check. I may have just clicked on the wrong ones. I've never done that before. This is my first mistake.
Yep.
So, let's see.
I just listed it.
There it is.
Okay, I didn't see it. Okay, good.
Where's the,
Every day.
where's the full screen thing?
Easy. Yeah. Too bad. Indeed.
Okay, I will reconvene the meeting, and we will now convene the January 17th regular council meeting for the city of Columbiana. So what I'll do is I'll put the agenda up there. I'll ask Councilman Rustin to lead us in the invocation.
Sure, let us pray. Dear God, thank you so much for the opportunity to join tonight, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for just the days that you give us, Lord God. And Lord, just thank you so much for the holiday season that we just passed and went through. Lord, I ask you, Lord, just continue to be with the people in the city, God, and let them be blessed and safe and healthy throughout this year. And Lord, I ask you just the same for the city. Let it thrive in this next year. And Lord, be with the meeting and the things that are discussed tonight. Let it be for the benefit of the city and the people within it. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. If you'll rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we can continue to look over the agenda, and I'll ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilman DeLilly?
Here.
Mizell? Here. Rustin?
Here.
King? Here. Phillips?
Here.
Mayor Mitchell?
Here. So it looks like everybody's in attendance. We have a quorum. So once again, give you a couple more minutes to take a look at the agenda. And as usual, the first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes, the consent agenda. That's approval of the minutes from the 3 January regular council meeting and approval of the minutes of the 10 January council work session. Are there any corrections or additions, deletions to the minutes? Okay, given that the council has read the agenda and there's no corrections, let the record show that the minutes and the consent agenda have been approved by unanimous consent. Okay, we have department head reports this month. Well, we have them every council meeting, but we do half of them at the first session and the other half in the second. So we'll start with the police department. Chief?
Okay, so currently,
One.
one on the job injury. One is actually settled out through workman's comp, so he is resigned from the city. Second one's still out with the Mike Peppers. Still on budget with our course, or on course with our budget. Had 2 officer positions that are open, which I told you last council, we filled the 2 that we had open for the COPS grant. We filled those 2 positions. They are enrolled in the academy, and they'll start in Montgomery February the 27th. And we won't graduate till the 1st of June, so once they're gone, they'll be gone for several months. Vehicle's in good shape, equipment's in good shape, and training continues for everyone. Issues and concern would be just to use caution. A lot of paving going on in town, 28. There'll be some more going on, from what I understand, Center Street and I think it's some of the streets. So we just ask people just to use caution. Don't be speeding up down those areas, especially when people are in construction. We will be applying construction zone fines if we catch you speeding at a high rate. And so it'll be double the fines if you're speeding in the construction zone. applications for the two positions that we have open for police officer. And, that's about it. We actually interviewed, one today, it was kind of a preliminary interview, came in, got an application, he's from, Silicaca. I think him and his wife and his family might end up moving this way, so we're kind of interested in it, so might have one filled and then hopefully fill the other one soon.
Or the two you guys working now until they go to.
They are, they're currently on night shift, they're with FTOs, or field training officers, and they're just kind of getting their feet wet without overwhelming them with too much, because they're fixing to be in the academy, which is gonna be a real fast-paced, here it is, kind of punching them out type, so. But yeah, they seem to be doing fine. One of the applicants is, Stephen Zales, he is, from Shelby, and the other one is Andrew Buchanan, who's from Calera. So, yeah, we're excited, they seem
It'll
to
give them an opportunity to make sure they want to do this
Exactly, that's why.
before you send them off.
Exactly, yeah.
Will they spend like the whole time at the academy? Will they drive back and forth, or?
Yes, they'll drive back and forth daily, it'll be like I think it's a 7 to 4:30 is
Okay.
their schedule.
Where's the academy?
Montgomery.
Okay. Any other questions for the chief? Okay, thanks, chief. Administration.
Everything is going good in administration. We have our business license renewals are coming in. Those were due, January 1st. But they're delinquent after February 15th, so we are processing renewals, multiple renewals daily. And then at the bottom is our, screen for general fund and then the other funds. Budget is looking good right now.
Yeah, basically about a $400,000 surplus, both general fund and overall, so, yeah. Okay, any questions for the clerk? Okay, the court, do we have anybody here from the court? Okay, so, you can see the story up there. Collections are still holding steady at this time. It's interesting, there was some concern that, and we've talked about this with the judge in the past, that, you know, because of the inflation and then also some of the stimulus monies and things like that that were going on, that we might see a drop-off in collections, but we really haven't. And we think a lot of it has to do with the kiosks and the ability to be able to pay fines online, which makes it easier for folks. Judge talked to us about the annual report. We've had a little conversation about that subsequent to the last time he talked to us about that. We don't really think that's going to be an issue for us. It's really about our court, since the magistrate and the judge are not here tonight. Any other questions? Public Works.
All right. Everything's running pretty smooth in Public Works and everything. We're pretty much back on regular schedule after all the holidays and getting caught up from Thanksgiving and Christmas and everything. Other than that, the budget's still running fine. We've got one opening in there. We just haven't really been looked, but because of the weather and everything where it is right now, to get toward summertime. They've started a new paving project. They're done on Highway 28. They're done there in front of the high school in Carter's Lane. Tomorrow they'll be in there, gonna move over on the Money Road tomorrow and start putting the seal top on those side streets over there. So we'll figure out what we're gonna do with each other.
The seal top, so they've already done
There's some patching they'll have to do, then the rest of it it'll just be, lay it, go back in and relay it.
Okay.
And, should be here in the next week or so. I hope maybe by the end of this week or the middle of next week, have everything to send out, bid on the new shop out there on some of the preliminary stuff to start off on it.
Good.
Everything. But other than that, everything's running fine.
So to kind of piggyback on what Jeff said, the paving's done on 28 in front of the high school, but but the street hasn't been marked yet, so again, we need to encourage everybody to use caution in that particular area until we get it painted. Any other questions for Alan?
What time do your guys start picking up garbage now?
Early.
Tuesdays and Thursdays, they start at 6 o'clock.
I was about to say, they were in the rain at 6:30 this
Yes.
morning.
If it's
Yes.
gonna be
Picking up
nasty-
garbage.
If it's gonna be nasty.
At 6:30 I saw 'em.
everybody's picking up everybody we got, trying, like last Thursday, we was talking about the storms, we had everybody out.
Yeah, they were out there early in the rain this
See,
morning.
I got lulled to sleep. When we first started doing it, they were coming by about 10 o'clock or something like that.
Yeah.
So then I walk out there one morning at 7:30 and put my trash out, and it doesn't get picked up.
Gone.
They've already
They've already been
Yeah.
gone, yeah. I just felt sorry for them this morning.
Well,
I thought,
I
oh my
did too.
gosh, it
That's
was-
why I told Mother we were
raining.
going somewhere. I said, this is an awful day to have to pick up trash.
It was.
Okay, any other questions for Alan? Appreciate it, Alan, thanks. Okay, board reports, planning commission, Charlene, you got anything to?
I was not at the last planning.
They
Okay,
actually, discussed, the Rocky Ridge subdivision request, and approval, and we're gonna do the conditional motion to approve because they still have to get driveways laid out to actually show that before everything's approved. And then Zach Callis was here talking about some property on Highway 25, trying to decide about in the city and different things that he may have to do to purchase the property over there across from Benny Davis's. He's wanting to purchase
I'll
all
say
that
that
and those, add another building there beside the storage buildings that are there now. So he was in talking about all that, but I mean, it was just discussion on that. So that's about
did you
it.
ask him to build a wall and
Well, actually, yeah, that was kind
discussed
yeah, we won't
Where
go
is
there,
Rocky Ridge subdivision?
but, Jonertown.
Jonertown Road and Rocky Ridge?
Okay, yeah.
It's, the Second Chance Ranch,
Yeah.
The faith-based youth ranch, it's across the street from them. How many lots now, is it 12?
Was it
8?
8, wasn't it? I want to
It
say,
started out, I know it was a different number, and they've changed it.
the last we talked about was they had 8, and I think that's what it ended up being.
So they're state lots, large lots.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else for, the planning commission?
That's it.
Thanks, Vicki. Okay, recreation board, you got anything?
Yeah, we did meet last Monday. Actually, you can chime in if you like. So a couple things. We've got a fencing project. We put some fencing money into the budget for our parks. So we Park and Rec Board decided to move forward on getting some fields re-fenced at the complex. It's 2 fields. I've already given the guy the go-ahead on that, so he'll be starting pretty soon. Told him we need to come get a business license before he can start. The other thing, we've been working on that project at Bolton. We have some estimates. I've given those to Charlene. She was talking to the county to see if we can get the go-ahead on proceeding with those grant funds with that. So we're just waiting to go ahead on that.
Sorry, what's left at Bolton?
The dugouts
Okay.
and that perimeter fence.
And are we talking different grant funds, or are we talking about what was given last year?
It's the same one from last year.
Okay, I assumed we'd already spent some of that on the park, is
Yes.
that correct?
We did, and Charlene went to the county last year. We were having a hard time with just getting people to, we really couldn't figure out the scope of the project. We had a lot of people just wasn't interested at the time just because of labor. But we went through some local people, and we've got those estimates. She's got them, so she was going back. The county is going to allow us to carry that money over.
Great.
So we're just seeing, make sure we get the go-ahead to do that. So, got that. And then I just pinged an idea to the Park and Rec Board. I went over to the city of Helena for a meeting the other day, and I saw their community center. It's basically, if you ever get over there to the community center, it's basically a cookie cutter thing. It's basically a box, but it was pretty practical of what we needed. And we talked about in there, we really needed a community center if we can ever land one.
Where'd you go?
City of Helena.
Helena.
And I know the mayor over there pretty well, so he's going to send me those plans and specs just to see what those things look like. But we talked in the Park and Rec Board, and something we've never really considered. I think when it comes to fruition, those CDBG grants, I'd like to see us consider maybe using one of those for scoping out a community center. And that's one of the things we talked about. Those grants are sort of in the years that I've been involved, those grants have always been tied up in some sewer projects and long-term projects. But we talked about if we ever build a community center, we're going to need some help. And so we just threw around that idea. But I told them that I would go back and get those plans and specs, and I can share them with you all. It's nothing fancy. It's a full brick building, 4 walls, and it had a gym in the middle with some speed and space up there. And we just talked about some ideas, and maybe we can sort of throw around. So I'm on.
Yeah, I've been in.
Yeah. So I think it'd be very practical what we may try to do here. But anyway, I'll get those plans. I talked to the mayor at a leadership event. He said he would give them to me, and that way we can just see what it's nothing extravagant.
We had one of our mayor's association meetings there, did we not, about a year or so ago at the Helena?
Yes, sir, we did, and then the first one is February 8th is there in Helena.
Yeah. So it's if you ever get a chance to go over there, and again, I'll get the plan and specs, but we really need one of those. I think it'd be good for the community. And it was nothing fancy. It was just good quality and.
So I'm not an expert on CDBG. Most of it is for infrastructure like the sewer and stuff like that. But they do have a $200,000 a year in addition, even if you have the infrastructure grants for economic development. So, and you could make that apply to a community. So.
Yeah. So I know that I don't know much about it. I just know that they're there for big projects, and I don't know if they were exclusive to sewer, but I know that those are big grants if you can hold on to them, if you can get them. And the difficulty is they stay outstanding for so long until you complete that project. So, but anyway, whatever we can do to sort of get down that road, I think it'd be a home run hit for the community and the schools, and it doesn't have to be anything extravagant. It just needs to be practical.
So please come to our workshops
Yeah.
on the recreation economy for rural communities, and what we hope these facilitators are going to be able to help us with, in addition to developing a plan, is to help us identify sources of funding. So they've got a pretty good team of folks coming.
So that's all I have. Ashley, do you have anything to add?
Did you ever find anything on the turf?
I've actually reached out. I have not got a price back yet. That was the other thing. We're trying to just soak up all this money with with this county grant, so we make sure to get all our bang for our buck. So I reached out to a source to see if I can get some information on some turf, because we were looking for turf to put in the batting cages. I just haven't got that price back yet.
Well, the basketball league's up and running, going great, and they're gonna have softball and baseball registration soon.
Yep.
Soon.
It is, I saw it on Facebook.
So it'll be a hot and heavy time in the next few months for sure.
So make sure we get that on both the city website as well as on the city Facebook page as far as the registration.
Just need some warm weather.
Well, we're gonna have it for a couple of days.
For that rain.
And no rain. That's all I've got.
All right, any other questions from anybody for Ricky, for Rick, or for Ashley? Okay, I think we have some board appointments that we need to discuss as well. And we'll start with the beautification board. Kim, do you
Yes.
wanna tell us
We
about that?
have Deidre Duncan, who's gonna be a new member with us, and Stephanie Roulier. I don't know, is that right? Roulier, yeah. She's new, and Susan Kahn is gonna remain in her position, so I'm excited.
So Deidre has taken Andrea Bowie's place.
Yes.
And Stephanie is taking Pat Ponder's
Yes.
place, is that not correct? So I think we need to formalize this. Is there a motion to nominate Deidre and Stephanie?
I'll make that motion.
You make that motion?
Yes.
Okay, a second?
I'll say.
Oh.
Okay. So all in favor, just say aye.
I'm in favor.
Opposed, same sign? Okay, so Deidre and Stephanie have been appointed to the beautification board. The next one is a reappointment to the planning and zoning board, or at least a recommended reappointment. And that's Kevin McKee. Are there any other nominations or recommendations for someone to take that position on the planning commission? If not, I'll move that we reappoint Kevin McKee to the Planning Commission. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. And opposed? Okay, so unanimous consent. Kevin McKee's been reappointed to the Planning Commission. Okay, so other business, Kirk Manser is here tonight
Did we miss the water board?
from the.
She missed the
park-
water-
Did we miss the water board? Was there anything?
Did I?
There was water board was up
Yes,
there.
I did. Alan, you got any news from the water board?
We just had a regular business thing, talk with
Okay. All right, you guys need to make a note, that's twice. Okay.
All right, don't do it again.
All right, so Kirk
3
Manser's
times
here
more.
from the Shelby County Chamber of Commerce, and he's gonna talk to us about investment in the chamber. So if you would, Kirk,
Yes, sir.
all yours.
Thank you, Mayor. And not to correct you again, but just continued investment, hopefully.
There you go.
So, first of all, on behalf of the Chamber's Board of Directors, thank you for the city's investment in the Chamber's 5-year program of work, Shelby One Next Level Up. Sure we can give you one of those. I think 2 of you were on City Council when that was approved back in 2017. That was a 5-year plan. This year, our leadership has determined that given what everyone has been through over the last couple of years, a 3-year plan was more recommended in terms of we had the 5-year plan, and then midway through that, we all kind of dealt with some things and had to change focus and whatnot and make sure we focused on the more important things rather than what we had originally set out. The other reason that we decided to do a 3-year plan is because our collaborative partner, 58 Inc., has a 3-year plan too. So there's no sense partnering with an organization, one of them having a 5-year plan, the other having a 3-year. So what you have in your hand is a case statement, and this plan of work is based upon 50-plus visits with community and business leaders throughout Shelby County, asking them 3 basic questions. 1, should the Chamber continue to work with 58 Inc.? 2, to force rank programs that folks think that the Chamber should work on over the next 3 years. And then finally, an overall budget number was presented to the folks that participated in those Q&A meetings. Staff was not involved in those meetings, so folks could share their honest opinion on what they thought, etc. Based upon the results of those meetings, you have in your hand the key areas that we'll be working on over the next 3 years. I do want to, and I appreciate y'all looking at it. We spent a lot of time on putting that together. But I do, as investors over the past 5 years, if you go back to the front, and if I could just ask you to fold that open, what we tried to capture, again, since the city has been a lead investor in the Chamber's program of work, we tried to capture 5 years of results that we have used with your investment, as well as 70-plus other businesses and municipalities investing in the program work. The key results are there on the far right, the major balloons that we accomplished over the 5 years. And we feel as if we have a positive story to tell, as does 58 Inc. The blue in that timeline are the things that the Shelby County Chamber accomplished over the past 5 years. The Mountain Dew green, if you will, is the with all due respect to Pepsi products. The Mountain Dew green is what 58 Inc. accomplished over the last 5 years. And then the forest or darker green is what the 2 groups have worked on combined. So again, we feel as an investor, we want to make sure that you and the rest of the community know what the Chamber did with the resources that were provided us over the past 5 years. Then those next 4, and most people don't want to hear the Chamber guy talk for too long, but the 4 key areas listed over the next several pages include continued support of existing businesses, helping them to expand. One thing I'll relay in terms of result that we indicated we would accomplish was we committed to helping to help to grow the workforce by 1,200 new jobs. Happy to report one of those balloons, we ended up with 1,900 plus new jobs throughout Shelby County. Those are separate numbers from what 58 Inc. it has reported as well. So we have a business support center. Some of your businesses here in Shelby County have taken advantage of that. And those are things that we've been able to point to that the Chamber was able to assist. So that's business development support. The second area is workforce development. One of the outcomes of those meetings was the chamber moving forward to be the lead entity in Shelby County on workforce development. That means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. One of the things we've done over the past 5 years are our career readiness programs, and those are programs that we have in the high schools throughout Shelby County. In fact, today we were at Shelby County High School working with your 11th grade students, your seniors, on a program, Keeping It Real, which gives them random life situations. The students then make purchases as if they're on their own, and sort of gives them an idea about what it's like when they're officially on their own. We also share soft skills, share with them what the expectation is, whether you work for yourself, own your own business, or if you work for somebody else, the things that are going to be expected of you as a person working, again, for yourself or for another organization. And then later on, we'll be back in Shelby County High School for our program, Communication Matters, which is more information on soft skills, etc. The third area is our continued partnership with 58 Inc., just cementing that. 5 years ago, when 58 Inc. was formed by the Chamber and Shelby County, there was really an idea when we put together the case statement for back then. Over the past 5 years, that partnership has grown, but we now have something in writing. Not so much that we have to stay in our respective lanes, but just to spell out, here's what the Chamber's doing, here's what 58 Inc.'s doing, and then where are the two groups working together. Part of the feedback was people knew about both organizations, but in some cases, where does 58 Inc. start? Where does the Chamber start, et cetera? So that's all now in writing, a signed agreement by both boards of directors, which is a very positive thing. And then the final is creating a business-driven environment through our public policy initiatives, working with local elected officials, statewide officials, and then, when appropriate, our federal delegation members. So those are the 4 key areas that we're going to be working on over the next 3 years, in partnership with 58 Inc. in some cases, and then on our own as well. The final thing you see individuals throughout there, those are business and community leaders that are sharing their support. The first inside flap, those are our co-chairs. We're excited that Tommy Brigham, founding partner and chairman of ARC Realty, and then Tom McLeod with McLeod Software have agreed to be the co-chairs. They're lending their name, supporting this program of work. Interestingly enough, Tom McLeod was 58 Inc.'s first W. They were looking to leave the metro area. They were in Jefferson County. They were looking to leave. And the city of Hoover, working with 58 Inc., were able to convince them to stay in Shelby County, to move to Shelby County rather than completely out of the metro area. So we feel as if that's a compliment that Tom McLeod has agreed to co-chair. So that is the plan. What we would like to ask the city of Columbiana, good news, we're not asking for an increased investment. We hope that y'all will consider staying at the current level that y'all are investing annually, combined with an in-kind type arrangement that we have with the city, the use of the Grand Hall. That would be at the Chairman's Council investment level. That's our top level. There are a number of benefits in each one of those areas, and those are things that anybody on staff within the city could take advantage of. And I realize y'all probably want some time to digest what all those benefits are, but that is sort of our presentation and our request moving forward for the next 3 years, 23, 24, and 25. Did I cover everything, Mayor?
I think you did.
Okay.
Second time I've heard it.
I still have a little bit of Yankee in me.
Tennessee Orange, right?
Well,
Isn't that a new country song?
now you just ruined it now.
Any questions for Kirk?
Yeah, I don't have any.
I have one.
Yes,
Just
sir.
a curiosity question. So the 1,900 jobs, I think that was the number.
Across Shelby County.
Across Shelby County,
Over 5 years.
which you indicated was separate from 5080. No overlap?
No, sir. The majority of our efforts are with existing businesses, and 58 Inc.'s efforts are predominantly with new businesses coming to Shelby County. There is there would be the perception some overlap, but 58 Inc.'s targeting those 5 sectors that they're working in. So
So would they become, once they're established in Shelby County, would they transition over to the chamber side?
well, let me put it that, yes,
Right.
straight answer is yes, but I don't want to make it seem like, so we have the term investors and future investors. we'll work with anybody, because if you're part of the community, you're part of the team. But obviously, we need investors to help, run the program work. But our approach, along with 58 Inks, we're gonna work with anybody that needs our assistance. But in a 95% of the time, yes, sir.
Yeah.
That would be the relationship there.
Well, I've never thought of y'all, compete is not the right word. I thought it is parallel, it's all the same entities or whatever, and you had the same goals basically that you do, but maybe it shines a little bit different, but.
They just do a lot more with outside
Yeah.
the county folks.
Yeah.
Not that we wouldn't, but they're the ones that are set up with all the information, the charts, the land, all that kind of stuff. Deal with that kind of stuff.
I will say that, since we did participate in the Economic Development Academy, 58 Inc. presented at the various sessions of the Economic Development Academy, so people outside of Shelby County got to see what they do, what they know, and what they can do, and quite frankly, I felt like they were envious. So, good job there, and it's a great partnership, I think.
I agree.
All right, any other questions for Kurt?
Good to see you, Kurt.
Good to see you.
Thank you for coming by.
I do hope you all celebrated Allie Payne
Yep.
as Public Servant of the
We
Year
certainly
We
did.
did.
at our December meeting.
Yeah, I think we did it twice. Okay? All right, any other city business anybody needs to bring up? Let me make sure I didn't forget that. Okay, mayor's report, I'm gonna foot stomp again, the recreation economy for rural communities. The workshops are Thursday evening, we kick it off from 6 to 8:30 at the Grand Hall. We sent, about 2,200 flyers out. We've sent emails out. We've put flyers in various businesses and various other places to try to get people that, on the flyer, there is a link to register. You don't have to register. You can just show up when you please, but if you can register, and it gives you, you're going to be at this, or this, it helps us with planning as far as refreshments and catering and stuff like that. So, looking forward to that. That'll be Thursday evening and Friday. We have decided, and we discussed this at our work session last week, to pursue the Assistance for Firefighters grant. I was trying to remember the A. And our objective is to acquire a new vehicle for our fire department, because our vehicles are getting a little long in the tooth, so to speak. And so we've kicked that process off with the fire department. Our deputy chief usually does a lot of the legwork there, and with the grant writing firm, which is Simple Grants, which used to be Azimuth Grant, same firm that we've used before, but they just changed their name to Simple Grants. And that's really all I've got to report tonight. One thing is, we had planned to have these workshops in the Grand Hall. We're still having them there, but because of the water leak, and we pulled the wainscoting off the wall, it's kind of a mess over there, but we're managing to work around that. We were able to do the jury selection in there okay, so I think it's still going to be just fine for us to do. It's just not going to be quite as neat and pretty, because we'll have bare sheetrock instead of wainscoting, and some of the trim has been pulled off the wall and things like that. And then hopefully next week, I think we'll get started on the repairs. Okay. Any other questions? Announcements.
The mayor mentioned the workshop this Thursday and Friday. February the 25th on Saturday is Cowboy Day, and that is also the Cattlemen's Rodeo. So, there may be a Cowboy Day schedule is set, so you can see it on social media. It's gonna be a fun day.
Not really an announcement, but have you heard any more, has anybody heard any more about an opening for Blue Agave?
No, but I rode by there the other night, and the lights were on in there, and there's been a lot of work done.
He has done a
Yeah.
lot.
So that was exciting just to see the different. Yeah.
Because I thought if he could be open by Cowboy Day, we could add some, sombreros and banditos into our shootout on Main Street. So, okay.
But yeah, if you get a chance to walk by there, it's a pretty nice little layout in there now.
I'm ready for it to be open.
Me too.
Okay. Any other questions for Ally? There we go. There's Cowboy Day. The good guy's in the white hat in the back part of that picture. So. Okay, that's where we open it up to the public. Anybody else got anything? Okay, if there's no other comments or questions, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.